Well, hello, folks. Hope you're having a good Saturday. Thanks for hanging out a little bit later here on Twitch. Normally we stream earlier in the day here on the channel, but I was out doing summer things. I was out blueberry picking, and that requires daylight, and better to do it midday than near sunset. So, but it is done, and I'm back in the city, and I am ready to play some Minecraft with you all. This is the Citadel server, if you're not familiar. It's a 4-year-old multiplayer server where I do some geeky stuff in Minecraft with friends. But for the last, almost a year, we've been working on this medieval town. And we even have a map. Boop. And the last few months, we've been focusing on the east side of town. The west side of town has not received much love outside of the keep and some planning of the major walls. And I'm still not entirely sold on this. I don't know what we're going to do up there, but for now, I think what we're going to do today is pop over here and finish off the stables. I think it was the stables? Yeah. That's what we were working on last time, I think. That's what we're going to do. Lava Cast. I let everyone know in Discord. And because you are a sub, you can jump into Discord. And I always make sure to tag people. I tag the everyone tag in announcements when I change stream times. It's one of the benefits of being in the Discord. I don't generally just tweet and say, hey, I'm going to delay my stream. I just tweet when I'm live, but I'll give people that are supporting me in the Discord a heads up. So you could say we are in East West Hill. Yeah. It's going to be really confusing when we're in West West Hill. So this little stables is something we were working on last time. I still have all the shulker boxes set up. I remember not liking this roof thing. Yeah, that's not the best. That is not the greatest. I think it's too low. Yeah. Too low and maybe a little bit too big. Plus it looks really funny when you see it from the side. Oh, there's a staircase here. That's helpful. So let's try just doing this again. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to start building it from the ground. That way we know it's not going to feel too low. I'm going to need some more coarse dirt as well. Yes. 6 a.m. and you haven't slept. Take care of yourself. Get some sleep. I used to do all-nighters all the time when I was younger, and they are not worth it. We will, of course, make this look a little bit nicer when we have an opportunity. And all of the details are in. Then I feel like we can probably worry about how this actually looks. Never been able to do all-nighters in my life. Couldn't do it in college, never gonna do it. No, I did it in college, but I just, as an artist working late, like I just end up making mistakes, so I just don't do it. You end up redoing stuff that you do night. I mean, I can stay up late and play video games and stuff, but again, even 1 o'clock, you know, I'll just be like, that's it, I'm done. Even on a weekend, you know, just not quite my thing. All right, let's get this up to that height. What if this isn't that big? What if it starts a little bit higher than that? What I'm thinking is maybe we do it at this height, but in sections of 2. Oops. That looks a little bit better. It doesn't clash as much with the front anymore. Except for now it looks kind of funny here. That's okay. Then we can go across here like this. And maybe we can hide that with some handy dandy trapdoors. Now here, we'll have to come in with some stairs or something. Put some of this stuff back. We might take a crack at the town square here today too. I have an idea for just quickly finishing it up without worrying too much about the details, just kind of like putting in a texture. Oh, I wanted spruce stairs. Do we want to go? I guess that's what we could do. Or maybe that's a good place for another trapdoor. Yeah, I think that works better than the stairs. Although maybe we could put the stairs in here. I think that works. And then maybe having these fences and gates in here was a bad idea. Now, do we need... Right, that's from the inside. Oh, wait a minute. These are going to have trapdoors on them. The Razor Crest Lego set, Lavacast. That's awesome. I had my eye on that too. The only thing I don't like about it, which is it's nothing to do with the Lego, it's just that the ship design is just all gray. It's real boring. But so like that's what it looks like, right? Like that's what the actual ship looks like. So of course it's all gray. do the same thing over here. This one. Which means we may not need... Well, that's the side of the building. I sort of wanted to have one of these gate situations over here. I can't really do that. You need more trapdoors. So the town square, I was thinking cobblestone and smooth stone. And then natural stone. So I was thinking like mostly cobblestone. Right? And then pepper in the odd like bit of this. And then be really sparing with stuff like this. I think that could look okay. Throughout the whole square. No pattern, no lines, nothing. At least not yet. We could use that as a base. And then if I did decide to put a well here in the middle, I'd use some mossy cobble. I might even sneak in the odd cracked brick here and there. Yes, trapdoors, thank you. Do we need just to make some? Looks like we need to make some. Oh, we got some in here. Yeah, I was surprised that the cobblestone really worked well. We might experiment to see whether there's other blocks we could use, but I feel like that's something that's going to come in. Oh, crap. Right, we can't do that. Let's remove this one. I do want to put it there. And we'll put a fence in there. Thanks so much, Herding Cats. I'm glad you like it. That's not going to work from both sides. Fixed. This actually might be a good way to do this anyway. Because then, if I follow suit with that, what is that even with? This one? Yeah, so I could get rid of this. Yeah, I think that'll work. We're going to replace it with some gates, but I think that'll work. Oh, I guess I have to make gates. Hey, CJ, how's it going? Good to see you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Of course it's an even number. Let's put a gate there and there. Where'd that go? And then I think we can sneak in a fence post there. Another one. Maybe we'll get rid of this too. I wonder. Doesn't really hide that, but that's okay. I'm wondering if these two should be a different kind of pillar to differentiate them from the wall. No, maybe not. I'm just wondering if we put a sign, maybe not right out front, but there's nothing in Minecraft that looks like a horseshoe, is there? We need more item frames. Leather and sticks. Flint and steel? Maybe, yeah. We might have to... Will that go on there? That actually looks pretty cool. I quite like that. Probably open. Just not that one. Kind of think we could do with another fence gate there instead of a fence. Flint and steel might be okay. Those are in my iron box. I think that's good enough for now. Iron helmet is the closest thing to a horseshoe. Never thought about that. All of the helmets that I have currently are the same shape. With the exception of maybe the diamond helmet. Nope, diamond helmet's fine. I wonder if an iron helmet actually would look like a horseshoe. Actually, that's not bad. You know, that actually works. I think I like the flint and steel better. It's hard though. What What if we turn it like this? Yeah, I think we'll leave it like that. It's a little bit abstract, but I'll take it. Yeah, the iron helmet works too, though. I feel like the iron helmet could be used as like a bunch of different stuff, but that to me feels like it has an action to it, you know? That is the moss blocks. Where's the grass blocks? I needed more fence gates. Yeah, it almost looks like a hammerhead hitting the shoe. I agree. It has like that kind of a fun dynamic to it. Yeah, I think that works. I wish we had better colors in spruce fences. I'd like to do something a little bit different with that. We could maybe change the texture in here. A little bit of that. Same thing. Maybe like there. Gets a little bit repetitive. Right. I'm starting to get carried away with the details here. I need to make sure that works. Yeah, that doesn't clash as much. What was happening before was the line of the roof here was lining up with the angle of the roof there, and it just all looked like one weird shape. Now this looks like it's kind of like an add-on thing to it. Might as well get rid of all the grass. Bugging me. All right, now to handle this, I think we'd probably want to switch this around. Have fence, and then probably another log. Now here's where normally I would put another log, but I feel like it might make a little bit too heavy, so we're gonna go with more fences. Malamusin, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Just comes with practice, you know, watching people like Whip and Pixel Riffs and Gemini Tay and kind of picking up little tricks here and there. Cool, that's good. For the tops of these, we're probably going to go with boring old trapdoors. And I'd say that's pretty good for space. I'm not feeling very claustrophobic. Good out here. So the other things I'm going to need for the decorating of the inside are going to be those 2 blocks. I'm going to need some birch. Not planks. I need logs. Birch. Stripped oak, hay bales. Going to need some sand. Actually, maybe even some smooth sand too. I don't know about dripstone. We might be able to work in some dripstone. Don't need the red terracotta anymore. I'm probably not going to be adding horses today. I think I'm going to take your advice on that and talk to Hannah about that. But I'm probably going to build the paddocks today. So I'd imagine there'd be room for like 2 stalls. I'm not sure which way we would put them. My guess is that we would just run it sort of this way. So like that. I think actually we might use trapdoors. Might look a little bit nicer. So if I do that. Maybe we'll mix up the kind of trapdoors as well so they're not all the same. Can you get a horse through that? You probably can't. And then back here, we could do the same thing. Fence. It's a 2 white space for a horse, yeah. If we did have a horse in there, we would do that thing where we bring the horse in, tie it up, and then let that just have it be pinned inside. I'm gonna take a spin down to the other barn. That looks okay, I think. It's not a huge barn. Then there'd be room to have one tied up out here as well. And maybe we could have the odd. That feels kind of strange. Take it easy, Lavacast. Have a good one. Right. Rockets. So you'll see why I needed the sand and everything in just a minute. Oh, it's gonna go nighttime. Oh, you can get horses into a single gate now? I believe horses are going to be able to jump your trapdoor fence. Oh. I mean, we'd tie them up. That was autopilot going back to the city. So what I wanted to do inside was something a little bit more like this. obviously not with like logs and things. But piles of hay. So this is mostly sand, actually. I'm glad I came to look. Brown concrete powder. Spruces of all varieties. Okay. I'll use barrels. Oh, cauldron. That's a good one too. We might be able to make like a water trough with waterlogging stairs. I don't know. I've not had great experience with leads. I don't find the leads really do what they're supposed to. So there's not a lot of room in here, but obviously we can do things like add in sand, smooth sandstone, and stripped oak. Oops. We might end up moving some of these later on. Back here, though, I feel like we can maybe... Like in here, maybe we could do... Bay hail that way. And that can't be used, so we'll do one standing up like that. Maybe something like that. Nothing too fancy. Yeah, thanks, Cosmic. I agree. I like the way that they look. Now back here, this is where we can... Maybe not that far out. And then we can use maybe... Whoops. That one there. And we'll use stone on the bottom there. Actually, let's reverse that. Yep, that's working. We need to do a little bit on the ground. Might as well go all the way here. Here's where we could actually pile things a little bit higher. I wonder if we could... This is where I would love to have piles of sand, you know, like layers of sand like you have snow. I did that wrong. Cool. Feel like we could probably have some stuff out front too. Gotta be careful with putting hay bales down. If they have horses loose in the pen, they will jump over it if they can, as will llamas. Yeah, I'm not worried about it. I don't really think I'm going to be putting horses in here, and if I do, I'm going to be using leads. And if that's the case, we'll just put something up above their heads. It's too bad that there's not a way to get animals like that to stay in without, you know, the fact that horses can jump over fences and stuff is kind of dumb. Maybe just a few more patches of hay sprinkled around. That lines up. Let's try it here. Okay. Let's see here. Don't think if I put anything else in here, I think I want it to be water related, so we could have. This might be a good spot to put like a water trough. That might be too big. Feel like we might have to do it with dark oak, maybe. What's the plans after this build is done and dusted? I'll probably try to do the first pass on the square, just because this really, after this is built, the only thing left is the town square and the church courtyard as far as big things that have to be built. Obviously there's a tower over here, but like inside the walls, that and just texturing of like the streets and stuff. So there's all these little details that we'd have to do, but there's no major builds on this side of town. I guess we might want to address the inside here. I kind of feel like we could go with candles and stuff, but at the same time, it's just going to be a mob farm. So we'll see. What was I going to get? Dark oak. Don't know if this is going to be too dark. We'll see. I like it. I just don't like it touching the wall thing, so that's a pain. Maybe we will just use a cauldron instead. Probably gonna need 2 of these. Oh, nighttime again. Yeah, candles would look good in the church. They just won't give off any light. That's the only problem. If I was going to be a big old cauldron of water, probably that's one area, or out here somewhere. That's probably good. Just not a fan of it lining up with the front there. Maybe we'll tuck you in there. Yeah, a little bit of a color pop. Hate to use the word, but it is what it is. So we got spruce. Those logs. Trapdoors. I need some brown concrete powder. So many brown shulker boxes. I don't think Podzol's gonna work. Oh, do I have any soil? I do. This might look good too. A little bit dark, but I've got an idea. I feel like this would look good near the water. It's a little dark once you start getting out farther. This also might look good too. No! Wow. Forgot how purple that is. That is the wrong log. It's one of those builds, the church, that you want to light dimly and beautifully, but at the same time don't want your face eaten by zombies every time you go near it. Yeah, exactly. We don't want it to be the church of zombie eating. That seems like a bad church to be a part of. I, for one, would not want to be part of the church of zombie face eating. That sounds like a terrible idea. What am I looking for? These. That means you can go back in there. Yeah. Okay. So I'm thinking around here we want to make it look a little bit more like it's got some structure to it because it would be walked on a lot. So we're probably going to sneak in like that texture. Maybe we'll turn it the other way. Or maybe we'll turn these the other way. I feel like I had another color brown that looked good with all of this. Hey, Skull Daisy Gimp, how's it going? Yeah, nothing really seems... What about mushroom block? Where do I even keep that? I know we had it somewhere. I don't need the corner of my face anyway. It's fine. Fine. Everything's fine. Yeah, maybe. Maybe not. I probably used all the mushroom block. I don't think there's any tables and stuff we can use. I do want to try to get some. Have to know. I do have a mushroom in there. I don't remember. Does it have to be dark? Be dark. Not enough room, I guess. Good lord, how much room do they need? I can see now why they needed the room. Didn't they change a bunch of stuff about Mushroom Islands in the latest snapshot? What do we not care about? Dirt. All that, and hopefully these will actually look good. Kind of want to put them in place of having too many of the... Yeah, you know, that's okay. I'm alright with that. Not there, but that's fine. feel like there's got to be one other darker thing that'll work here. Too dark. Yeah, that kind of works. Now it just looks like it's all one piece, though. Guess if we're going to do that, we should probably have more of this stuff kind of being peppered on down the line. Yeah, that looks okay. Take it easy, defacing typhoon. Thanks for hanging out. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Oops. I say that's okay for now until we figure out what's happening here. We can probably sneak in some gravel here and there. Don't know if I brought that with me. Do we have some? Just to kind of get it going. Really, we're going to have to wait until we finish the... Before we can transition this area from inside the barn to out here, we'd have to really finish the floor out here, the ground. I find it looks kind of wet underneath the cauldron there. A little bit too much of a pattern going on. You know that frustrating thing when you're trying not to make a pattern, but you end up making a pattern? Let's go with... Move that over there. I feel like we might have more trapdoors in here too. It's hard because they're part of the fencing and stuff. Maybe we'll make this a trapdoor. It's outside. And that way we can squeeze in plank texture, which I guess I could just use these. Oh, the inventory space. Fences, stairs, that. We want these. Anybody else wish that you could dye shulker boxes like the same way you could dye armor? Maybe not quite to that level, but it would be nice to have. Some textures. I'm gonna go with here. And maybe somewhere's in the stall needs some work. Oh, that makes a weird pattern. Yeah, okay, that's it. That's good for the floor, ground. That helps a lot, actually. And then down here, we could maybe try and pop in a few more things. Don't know if the mushroom block is going to work out here or not. Yep, just not there. I think maybe we can do concrete powder there. And there needs to be something over here. Yeah, just random enough that it feels like it sort of makes sense. I'm also trying not to dig up the random textures that have the pebbles in them from my course dirt. Trying to leave some of that alone. Ah, more patterns. Something needs to go there. Maybe this is a good spot to put some things. We'll tackle that after my break. Things that I need to go into now, the mode where you've got like barrels and crates and things. So give me the usual, we'll say 6 minutes, 7 minutes, something like that. I just need to step away from the computer computer for a small break, and we will be right back. How's that for flying? The mighty Elkhorn is here. Hello, Elkhorn. How's your Saturday going? We're up to our eyeballs in haystacks and horse stalls, which is more fun than it sounds, really. Although Hannah on the server owns at least one horse, if not two. She's a horse nut. I don't think she'd be offended by me calling her a horse nut. So there are people that love that kind of hard work, and I have to say, I don't mind like that kind of labor, you know, like farm labor. I've done a little bit of it here and there, just helping out friends, and I find it fun. Now, would I want to do it all the time? Probably not. I'm wondering if we can find a way to make this look like it's got a gutter going to it, but I don't think we can. Don't think we can. Unless, what if I get a stair? And a water bucket. The water's just going to come out of this, right? That's how this is going to work. Oops. Oh, I hit the bottom. Whoops. If I waterlog the stair, it's just going to pour all it over the place, right? It's going to change on my concrete powder. Hold on. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, well, what if we did this? And I'll need some stone. Did that, and that. And then you really can't see. So we could maybe even put water there. Let's find out. Mish1664, thanks very much for the sub at tier 1 for 2 months in a row. You get the Earth Keystone badge now. That's awesome. Thank you very much. Oh, we're not going to make it. Oh, we made it. Cool. Just. And I think that's enough of a fake out that it probably works. Plus, we could actually we could put a trapdoor there. So if I take that back, take this out. And then cauldron, stone. Oh crap, no, that's supposed to be andesite, I think. Yeah, maybe. Landed. Thanks, CJ. Appreciate that. Every once in a while, I come up with some neat ideas. It's not 100% what I want, but I can't think of a way to get what I want. I guess we could flip that down so that you still see the edge of the trapdoor if you're far enough back, right? You don't see water underneath it. You just see trapdoor, and then here it just looks like it could be from something. I don't know. Another way to sell this might be to like change the texture of the wall. Nope. That's fine. All right, so that's that. These things are to be used as tethers, so we can use that. I feel like we may also want to start putting some tripwire hooks, and I also need to think about lighting. I do not want torches. I would much prefer lanterns or other things. I don't need those. Tripwire hooks are in there. We need maybe a chest or two. Great. Barrel. We just need to make more barrels. We use so many barrels. The trick is going to be not to put them too close to the front here, because otherwise they're going to look like part of the pillars. Although, actually, maybe we should... Do we need to add those barrels in elsewhere? Like, should I put a barrel there and a barrel there? I feel like if these are all barrels, it might not look as good. Yeah, it's too much. Okay. I want to put a barrel somewhere in the back. Trouble is, if you put it here, fence is going to connect to it. So we'll put it there. Anybody else wish that they had that you could change the top textures of the barrels based on what was in them? Nod, Nand, HD. I like the use of the hay in the roof. Thanks. Where you have to texture it yet? We haven't finished it with it just yet. So barrel back there. Crate could go probably out front. Like here. Although that kind of narrows that down a little bit. I kind of like this space. I think that's okay. Although it hides the cauldron. And if you're wondering what that was, Spoiler. Note block. Yeah, they connect. Okay. What about maybe this space right here? Can't really see it. Ah, actually, you know what? Yeah, I like that. Might want to put something on top of it. Like a lantern. Alright, so inside we're probably only going to need one. Maybe two. And my thought was to hang it from something, but we don't really have a crossbeam here. I guess we could always make one. Barrels upside down for a different texture? Yes. Yeah, I don't think it would be very good for what we're doing here either. I'm going to grab some dark oak logs that are stripped, as well as, I guess we'll just use sandstone. I'm just thinking, might as well just use this. So then if we use the dark oak across the top here, that does give a little bit more of a cut. Wondering if we have to do it higher. No, I like it where it is. Okay, so we'll do that. And that will give us something to hang a lantern from. Although, that's probably going to need to be on at least one chain. The other thing that's a problem is that I like this lantern out here, and I think this lantern is going to clash with it. We might have to move it over here. Cool. We are not going to be mob proof, I don't think. We're going to be nearly mob proof. Yeah, there's one spot there. Well, no lie. There's a trapdoor there, so that's fine. 8. So this one is definitely a no. 7, 8. Yeah, there's a couple around. So it's not going to be perfect. The other thing that I wanted to put down were a couple of these tripwire hooks. I feel like that's just the kind of thing you want stuff to be hung in barns, and I feel like having something like that. And then maybe another one there. Maybe that's too many. That one doesn't make a lot of sense anyway. Yeah, I think that's good. And now for a chest or something, which I think would look good there, we'll make a trap chest, which is spruce, with my pack. I think I might change that. Jay Price, did I see you in a different stream last night? Satisfactory stream? Yep, we're working on the stables. On the topic of quality of life features, did you know the minimap can display light level? Yes. Yeah. Very convenient. So like, is it Y? View settings. What does it look like? Lighting is on. Is that what you mean? Or actually like the light levels? Because you can see it at nighttime on the full map. Info settings. Information settings. Oh. Oh, there we go. That's cool. Yeah, that's nice. That's again one more reason you don't have to bring up the F3 screen, right? So we're nearly there. I think I'm okay with the textures. I don't want to overdo it, right? I think everything inside is done. We might want to put a lantern like outside here, because it's super dark. That, or I guess I could put it on the barrel. That's probably a better way to go. Yeah, actually that'll be a nice kind of backlight sort of thing. So the last thing is to work on the roof, and for that I have to go back to the other barn, and whoever just made the comment in the chat that they liked the use of the hay bales and the thatched roof, then you'll like this, because I want to come back and refer to this because this is the first one that we did. And we used some, I want to say birch and spruce. Birch and oak, rather. And that's it. Just birch and oak. Okay. I didn't use enough of that in the hay bales. Alright. Birch and... I like that top part too. What? Joel wants to use more trapdoors. Surprising no one. I think I like that better than having this ridge. Yep. So we're going to do that. So I need stripped birch, stripped oak, and spruce trapdoors. More spruce trapdoors. Right, so we'll get rid of these for now. Of course I ran out. That and boop. And then we'll use the trapdoors up here. Good, good. So now all we have to do is just go through and replace a few of these. And I'm going to do some of the darker stuff down low. And we'll just take a step back and see how that looks. It's not going to be very much because it's a small roof. Need to go look at the other ones again. There's one here too. Oh, thanks, Nand. Right, so this is not an angle. I'm sure I must have just had to make them sit a certain way. Yeah, okay. Quite a lot, actually. The idea is that it's supposed to look like the hay's been dried out, you know? Lewas, where's Skull Daisy when you need him? -7 geek points for you. Just cause I'm in a mood. Naysayers. When for a while when we were teenagers, my friends and I, whenever someone said something like that would get like an eye roll or a oh gosh, like why did you say that? Our typical response would be just deadpan, look at them in the face and say you're fired. And then we would fall off a roof. No. Feel like we're gonna squeeze in another one over here. I feel like I want a little bit more birch going. Bonus, of course, it adds some texture inside too. Oh. Axes are dangerous, man. Did I just throw those on the ground somewhere? No. I'd say that's the front done. I think I might move that one over. So we'll put you there and take you back to hay bale. Oops. Oh, CJ, you do that all the time? That's still a thing? I don't feel so old now. That's nice. All right, so we just don't want to repeat the same pattern. So let's go with this one. maybe these two. And then for the darker ones, this one's gonna be harder to see. We're gonna have to go up on the wall, I think. Don't play with axes, kids? Yeah, that's good. Have you guys seen the clip of Jason Momoa throwing axes in Newfoundland? It's awesome. So we're gonna put one like right there. Hopefully this doesn't look like too much. A little bit much in through here. So we'll remove probably this one. Yeah, I'm okay with that. That is hard to do on such a small build. Hard to do. Yeah, I'm calling this table's done. I mean, there's no horses in it, and we need another bucket of water, but still, can't complain. It's too bad that you can't make puddles on the ground. I mean, you could fill it with water, but then it just looks like a big pit of water. I guess you could have like a half slab. That's still not gonna look the best. Liwas. Someone throw a virtual shoe at Liwas. Nothing hard. Nothing's gonna hurt. Like, don't use a dress shoe. Use like like a flip-flop, like a sandal, a rubber, a croc. Throw a croc at Liwas. He shot me through the door. I shot him through the door. Okay. Minecraft physics. Chains, lights, bones. This, that, and the other thing. Actually, I think those go back in here. Those were birch, but we don't have a birch box. I think I was actually making sticks earlier too. Dripstone. So what we can do now is take a look at the stone idea for this. So I think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna mark the middle again, probably just with some slabs or something. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, including the border. And you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's 19, including the middle. I think it's time to destroy that too. I don't know if we're going to keep the outside as natural stone. We're going to need some cobble, some stone, and some smooth stone. So what we're going to go for here is a... oh, wow. Holy lag city. There must be mobs somewhere hanging out and being nasty. I mean, it normally lights camera action goal, but chains lights bones works too, I guess. Nice. Yeah, that sounds morbid. Good Halloween startup. So we'll probably remove these. And I guess we'll leave them like that. Maybe it's probably better for these to be bricks. So I don't normally work with this much cobblestone, but it seemed like a cool way to go. I might regret my decision later. I do think we're going to have to go get the cracked bricks. I feel like we're going to have to use some of that. I also just thought Trough might be cool and work very well with this. That cobble went quickly. Hey, Obsidian Clad Fox, how's it going? I feel like I haven't talked to you in a minute. And no, this is not day one Minecraft. As you might, someone walking into the stream just now would be like, what is going on? 1, why are my eyes blurry? And 2, what is Joel doing with all this cobblestone? Last time I used this much cobblestone was playing Skyblock. So I think we are going to have to move these shulkers. I was hoping to avoid it, but... Get out of my head. Nice. We shall see if Trough is going to mix in here nicely. I don't know if it's going to be cool or not. I'd say yeah. I think what we're going to go for is like maybe 50%. And then the rest of it, we're going to go with smooth stone and some of these, just a little bit. These might be easier to put in first, actually, now that I think about it. Because these are going to be the most sparse. So I'm thinking like really random, kind of like just one there, one there, and no real pattern to it. It's all just like, just trying not to line them up. Don't think deep slate would work. I feel like it might be a little bit too dark. This might actually be a really good solution for roads. The problem is, of course, Tough doesn't come in slabs, so you can't do gradient roads like this and use Tough as a texture, because then you can't use it on the half slabs. Master Crunchy, thank you very much for the host. Appreciate that. Mish, did I get your resub? I hope I did. 44 minutes ago on the Diagonal gifted a sub too. I missed that. Diagonal, I'm sorry. Was I on a break? So here's where I start to feel like we need more smooth stone. In particular, near these guys. I just don't want to put them on the corners. So this is looking cool. I just don't know if it matches what we've got going on here. We'll have to add a lot more cobble into the road, maybe. We still haven't really thought about that well either. This could be something I have to look up. Because I don't necessarily think I want something that big. That's not terrible. If we use trapdoors again. In this position. Nope, that does not look good at all. Maybe trapdoors on the outside? And then we could use stairs in here to make this feel more round. And again, this would all get textured and stuff. Once that was all filled in with water, that would look pretty good. And knowing me, I feel like we'd have to add a secret passageway, right? Once again, buckets required. Doot, 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 doot. Not bad. It's too bad that walls don't connect to stairs, because it'd be nice to have something that wasn't a full block there. But I like the idea of not having like a canopy over it. Like it's just a stone well, right? Endergov, you're listening to too much Lewas. Well, I have to go. Nice. Well timed. Thanks so much for hanging out. Have a good one. That's funny. Well, I have to go. Get out! I need to put coarse dirt away. Get lots of coarse dirt now. Because I need to move these shulkers. Or at least some of them. Probably gonna need that one. Log box, landscape box, wood box. So many. And we'll move this, these. Where'd the pink shell? Oh, it's over there. Crack. Jody Illyria subscribing with Prime for 16 months in a row. Sweet 16. Thanks so much, Jody. Appreciate that. Gecko Gamer, thanks for the host. Thanks to the host, Mr. Crunchy, as well. I think I said hi. Hello and thanks. I think I like this. I don't know. It looked better in the quick thumbnail that I saw. So all I'm doing with this is just trying not to line it up with any other stone, which when you get down to the last ones is hard to do. Keep seeing that bread out of the corner of my eye, and it looks like a floating item that I have to go over and pick up. So I'm not convinced about tough. You mean in this build or in general? It worked pretty good over here. Worked pretty good in this build. Somehow I have the Twitch chat ahead in the future. Nice. I'm also sad that this is going to use up a lot of our tough. And I'm just trying real hard not to think about this. So same idea. Once you get so far with it, you almost have to switch up the blocks and then start to pepper in the other stuff. Here I don't want to put anything next to the border. There. Oh. No, that's fine. And then we're back to tough. So a lot of this is just the, I guess we'll say, the training, the practice that I have with looking at something and trying to look and see if things are balanced. And that's something that takes a while to get used to. But once you've got that skill, it's really invaluable. And the idea, people have often said, like, you know, look at something and squint. I don't find that very helpful, but I also have the ability to kind of look at something and kind of unfocus my eyes to like blur everything. And when you do that, you'll start to see like kind of like these swashes of color, especially if we get up a little bit higher. And it'll just look like balanced, you know? Like to me, there's definitely more cobblestone than there is tough. Some of that is the fact that the gray stone kind of bleeds into the cobblestone a bit. But it feels like it's a pretty even distribution. Maybe like little bits here and there. There might be a skeleton in the church. Shoot the door. Yeah, I saw him anyway. There he is. The battle church. Has anybody ever killed a skeleton with a bone? I feel like that would be poetic. Do we have more tough? We have a little bit, but down to a stack again. Need to get a little bit higher. Oh, I fell off the high part. Might have gone a little heavy on the tough on the other side, actually. maybe lighten up a little bit. Not as interesting as a pattern as I was hoping, but it's not bad for a quick 15-minute sort of blitz at the end of a stream here. Better than what it was before, which was all dirt. So the only thing I want to try quickly is to see if we can get some cracked stone going on. I feel like this would look good specifically next to the tuff in places like this. Oh, no, not there. And you know what? Wait, does that hold in the water? Nope. Okay. I was like, that's too easy. But I didn't use any concrete powder. Don't be so tough in your builds. Nice. Yeah, I think we're gonna probably bring in a little bit more of the cracked stone, because that'll tie into what we have to do to work this in. I also don't know about the border. I kind of think we might have a better way to do this without the border, or certainly the border would not happen here. So like 2, 2, 2. So this here would not be this. Right, so we try to gradually bring, and really we could probably use this texture for a good part of that street as well. Kind of bleed it off into the different directions. I think that might be better than having a hard edge around it. I like that look better already. So, cool. I think that's what we're going to do next time, which is going to be tomorrow at 1 o'clock Atlantic time. That's UTC -3 for people that don't know. I was going to sit up there and look at things, but it's gonna be nighttime in just 20 seconds here. So give me a second here. But yeah, you can also find me on Twitter at Joel Duggan. That's where I tweet out when I go live. Don't go anywhere. We're going to raid somebody too. We're going to pass you on to somebody playing Minecraft. And I've also got a Patreon page, and that is where you can support the stream. Some people have been jumping in today with tier 1 subs and gift subs, which I appreciate. Prime Gaming as well. I see a little bit of that, and it helps me keep streams going. It helps me continue on with all the things that I'm doing. And I really appreciate it. Plus, you get to access the Discord, and the Patreon accesses the Discord as well. It's just a little bit more affordable for people that might be on a budget, as a lot of people are these days. So follow me on Twitter, as I mentioned. Check out the Spawn Chunks and the Citadel Cafe. They are both free podcasts that I do. Spawn Chunks, Pixel Riffs is back on Monday, so we'll be back talking about the latest changes to the experimental snapshots. And that's about it for me. We're going to pass you on to somebody else playing Minecraft, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye for now. We're going to raid Slice Lime. I'm sure you know who they are. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bye!